Hey ho there, friends. Last week, we defined what health is and how it is a balance of social, mental, emotional, and physical good habits. This week, we are going to talk about what the polar opposite to health is and how that is the secret to actually being able to achieve health in our life. I don't get it, Mommy. I do not get it. The teacher told me the opposite to happiness is sadness. But you don't have to be sad. I can be angry. I can be frustrated. I can be worried. I don't have to be sad to be why is that an opposite? I don't get that, Mom. Leave it to my daughter to ask me a question like that. She looked up at me with these big, beautiful hazel eyes, and there's the level of parenthood that most people don't really prepare you for. You have to be the teacher, the tutor, and help them figure out the world. So I sat there looking at her. I'm like, oh, how do I explain this to a young child? Like it's a concept. It's this concept homework that they had given her. Opposites. You are right. You are absolutely right. But let me explain to you what a polar opposite is that may help you understand the concept between polar opposites more. So there are principles in this world that's kind of like I'm using this pen as an illustration here. In the absence of one element, you will always find the other. And they are connected to each other. So it is the only way to decrease the other. Think of it as like light and darkness, okay? As light goes down, darkness gets more. And as darkness goes down, light comes more. When you're in a dark room, what's the one thing you need to do to make it light? You have to turn on the light. And the same is true. If you want the room to be dark, you have to turn off the light. So light and dark are two elements that are always connected to each other, and they're moving in here. Let me explain another way. This is a compass. We've got north, south, east, and west. The north and south poles never connect. They're always moving and flexing with each other. When you're moving in the wilderness and you're lost, and yet you know that you need to go north to get back, you can use this as guiding you. When you have it balanced, the needle will always point north. I gave my daughter the compass and she walked all over the room. And then when she sat it down, she was able to do her homework with apparent ease at that point. She understood the concept. But I walked away really thinking about that. The polar opposite. It only works when you find that core connection, that underlining meaning. So light and darkness, that's the core principle. It's not the sun and the moon. No, it's a light and darkness. Emotions, it's the positive and the negative. The positive emotions are in balance with the negative ones. In the absence of one, you will always find the other, and they'll always start shifting between the positive and the negative. If you are experiencing an overwhelm of negative emotions in your life, then you need to increase the positive ones. Increase the laughter, the love, the joy. Laugh until your sides ache. But I sat there and I was thinking, polar opposites. In society, everyone believes that the opposite to health is sickness. But people are able to be sick and healthy at the same time. For example, there was somebody that I knew for a long period of time that was the picture perfect of physical health. Oh my goodness, he could do pretty much anything physically he wanted to. But his life was strewn with all kinds of divorces, marriages that failed. Children didn't want to have anything to do with him. He was mentally abusive, emotionally abusive. So was he really healthy? Probably not. And it got me thinking more about health and understanding what is that core underlining principle. That if you can understand that, then you can know exactly what you need to do to achieve it, because you just do the opposite. So I sat there and I was thinking more and more. And what happens when you get sick? and you get all kinds of diseases, and you keep getting more sick, and more sick. Well, eventually you'll die, right? If you get sick continually all the time, and it keeps leading down the path and down the path and down the path, you die. So if illness and disease is death, then its opposite, health, is life. And I thought about that more. The more health you experience, the more life you have. The more disease and illness you experience, the closer you are to death. Life and death. In the absence of one, you will always find the other. When you have no life, you are dead. And when you are dead, you have no life. Life and death. They are synonymous with health and disease. There's the link. And now we know exactly what we need to do to get health. The 7 health laws follow that exact principle. What is something that you have unconscious control over, but if you were to stop doing it, you would die in a matter of moments? Your breath. And the next one, if you quit doing it, you would die in 3 days. Drinking water. The next one, if you quit doing this, death happens slower, but you still will die. And starvation is a terrible way to go. Food, nutrition. The next one, if you were to quit doing it, I don't know, it probably takes about the same amount of time to die as starvation. And that is not sleeping. The next one, if you quit doing this, life becomes very uncomfortable and very painful. And that is a lack of movement. Your joints stiffen, your muscles atrophy. Every move you make is agony. Movement. The next one follows more into emotional and social and mental health. Passion. You need passion in your life. And the very last one, the 7th one, is what holds it all together. The 7th one, you cannot spend enough time, attention, or study at. In fact, there are people that have only studied the 7th principle and they have achieved health in their life. And that is what I call intuition, but it goes by many other names. People might call it the spirit. Some people might call it the soul. Some people might call it the Holy Ghost. You've got your guardian angels. You've got, it does not matter what term and what word you call it. The simple definition of intuition is your ability to connect with yourself and with life that is unseen. It is the realm that you feel, that you intuitively know. Intuition. Those are the 7 health laws. They're simple, right? These are things that you can put into practice today and it will change your life tomorrow. And if you continue to do this, then your life will continue to improve again and again and again and again. And we'll go on to them in more detail. But I wanted to get those off to you quickly so that you can start doing it. Again, completely free, but we're going to go through it. The 7 health laws are going to change your life. Just like it absolutely changed the course of my life. I am in my 50s and I feel better than I did when I was 16, than when I was 12, than when I was 9, than when I was in my 20s. I am living my best life right now in my 50s. And you can too. You can embrace health. Absolutely. You can. As always, I am here with you. Follow, like, subscribe, favorite, however you want to do it. I am here with you always.